Hello my dear students, welcome to my channel Digitis. I am Sanjukta Kaur, a postgraduate teacher in computer science. In my channel, you will get all the videos of CBSE syllabus for class 11th and 12th computer science with Python. In this video, I am going to discuss MCQ types of questions for your term 1 board examination. You will get a series of videos of MCQ type of questions for your board examination which helps you a lot. Each questions are clearly and well explained with the basic concepts. So watch the videos till end, your doubts will be totally cleared. So students, share it with your friends also, they will get the benefit from the videos. Like it, comment it, and if you have any doubt then you can ask your doubts in my comment section, it will be cleared in my upcoming videos. So students, if you have not subscribed my channel till now, subscribe it so that the upcoming videos will come automatically to you. Right students? Thank you. Let us discuss some multiple type of questions from the list and tuple chapter. Right students? Here the first question says, which of the following commands will create a list? Option A says list1 equal to list method. Option B says list1 equal to only square bracket start and square bracket close. Option C says list1 equal to list of within square bracket 1, 2, 3, and option D says all of these. So students, here I want to just discuss one important method, that is list method. List method is used to create a blank list also, like option A says list1 equal to list method. So in this way you can create one blank list, right? So list1 is one blank list. And option B says list1 equal to square bracket start, square bracket close. That is also one example of blank list, right? No element is there. Option C says list1 equal to list method 1, 2, 3 within square bracket. So this is also here we have declared one list variable, name is list1, but now this list1 is not a blank list, but list1 contains some elements 1, 2 and 3. So in this way also we can create a list. Option D, all of these. So here our answer is option D, all of these. Right students, let us discuss the question practically. Now list method, suppose my variable name equal to L equal to list, only list method. So in this way you can create a blank list. Now the list variable name is L. So when you want to display that type of L, so here it is one list variable. Is not it students? See, this one is one list variable. So list method is used to declare one list variable. But now that L is what type of list variable? That one is one blank list, right? So option A says you can create one list variable by using the list method. So this one is correct. Option B says that is L equal to only square bracket start and close. So in this way also you can create a list variable. So here you can check what is the type of L. Now you can see the L is also list type, right students? And option C says, suppose one variable x equal to list method. After that, here within square bracket you want to enter the elements 1, 2 and 3. So here we have used the list method, and again we have just assigned some values, some elements to the list variable x. Now you can check what is the type of x, that is list type. Is not it students? It is one list type. And what are the elements are stored in that x variable? Now 1, 2 and 3. So the right answer is option D, all the three ways are correct to declare a list variable, right students? Hope your doubts are clear, right? Next question. Question number 2, what will be the output of the following code segment? Here list1 equal to red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow and black. So many strings we have enclosed within a list variable, that is list1, because square bracket we have used. So students, here you need to remember, when you use the square bracket start and square bracket close and you want to declare a variable with some values, that values may be string type, may be integer type, may be float type, combination of string, integer, float, then that variable will be a list type of variable. Why? Because square bracket we have used, right? So list1 is one list variable having all these elements red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow and black. Now print list1 of. Here -4 colon 0 colon -1. Actually this is known as slicing concept. That means you can access the part of elements from the whole list, right students. So this is known as slicing concept. Your colon sign we have used. -4 indicates that this is the starting index, 0 indicates this is the stop index, and -1 indicates that this is the step value, right students. So here -4. Now students, you need to remember, if we are declaring a list variable or string variable or tuple type of variable, then there are two type of indexing concepts. One is forward indexing concept, another one is backward indexing concept. Forward indexing concept starts from 0 to length of the list -1, and backward indexing concept starts from -1 to minus length of the list of the string of the tuple, right students. So here -4 means this is the concept of backward indexing concept. So here black, that is index number -1, yellow index number -2, magenta index number -3, cyan is index number -4. So in index number -4, which string is there? Cyan string is there, right? Now you have to move up to 0 index number 0, that is our forward indexing concept. So in index number 0, red, that string is there. Now you have to move just from -4 to 0, because step value also given here students, -1 means -4, then this is -1, backward we are moving. So -4, that is cyan is there, -1, that means blue is there, again -1, green is there, but stop index number is 0 students. So you know that if you are giving the stop index number 0, then up to 0 you cannot access the elements. That means 0, that one is the stop index number, then next to 0, that is green, up to green you can access the elements. So your answer is cyan, blue and green. The answer is option C, that is cyan, blue and green. Hope all of you understood this concept, but let us do the concept practically so that you can understand the things, right? So students, let us do the question number 2 practically. Instead of taking that string value, I am just writing the declaring the integer values. Suppose L is one list variable and my elements are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. Okay. So how many total elements I have declared in my list variable? Total number of elements are 7. But how will you check this? So one len function is there students. So len method is used to display the total number of elements in a list variable, in a string variable as well as in a tuple variable, right? So you can use the len method to find out the total number of elements from the list variable. So here the answer is 7. Now students, indexing concept. As I told, there are two types of indexing concept. One is forward indexing concept. Forward indexing concept starts from 0 to len -1, len of the list -1, okay. So here how will you use the index number? You have to write L of 0, and in this way you can write L of 0. Then this is your 10, that means 0 index number 10 is there, 1 index number 20 is there, 2 index number 30 is there, 3 index number 40 is there, and 4 index number 50 is there, 5 index number 60 is there, 6 index number 70 is there, right students? So this is the concept of forward indexing concept. You can access the value like L of 1, that is your 20, similarly L of 2, that is your 30, L of 7 not students, because length of the list -1 is not it. So L of 6, then that one is your last element. Similarly, how will you write in another way, that is L of length of your list, that is len of L variable, then -1, automatically you will get the last element of your list, that is your 70. So here just I have to enclose the square bracket students. So instead of square bracket I have used the round bracket, okay. So let us use the square bracket here, because when you are using the indexing concept, then all the time we are using the square bracket only, okay. So here we will get the last element of your list, that is 70, right students. Now backward indexing concept, as we have discussed, backward indexing concept starts from -1 to minus length. Here not length -1, minus length, okay. That means this 70, that is having the index number -1, this is your -2, this is your -3, and this is your minus 4, this is minus 5, this is minus 6, and this is minus 7, that is minus length, right. So here you can use the same length of minus 1, that is your 70, length of minus 2, that is your 60. Just we are moving from right to left, backward indexing concept. Length of minus 7, 7 is our length, so minus 7, that is our 10, very first element. Okay students, so these are the concepts of two types of indexing concept, right. Now we can access the part of elements from the whole list. Okay, so that is known as slicing concept. Here we use that colon sign. Suppose I want to access that from in 3 index number to 6 index number. Okay, just this one is the concept of forward indexing, because here 3 is the starting index number. I want to access the elements from 3 to 6, but 6 is not included students. 6 minus 1, that is up to 5. So you see third index number 0, 1, 2, 3, so 40 is there. Next 4 index number 50 is there. Fifth index number, that is your 60 is there. Okay, and 6th index number is not included, so up to 5th I can access the elements. So here our answer will be 40, 50 and 60. Let us execute the same. So you will get 40, 50 and 60. That means part of a whole you can access the elements from index number 3 to index number 6, but 6 is not included, that is 6 minus 1, index number 5, right. Similarly, backward indexing concept, suppose L of, now our question says minus 4, that one is our starting index number, up to 0, that means up to 0 means 0, in index number 0 whatever the element is there, that is not the included part. Okay, and step value here required students, that is minus 1. So minus 4 starting index number, 0 stop index number, and minus 1 is the step value. So let us execute the same. Minus 4, that is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and this one is our minus 4, so 40 will come. Then minus 1, that means backward movement, so 30 will come, 20 will come, but up to 0. So 0 will that 0 whatever the element in 0 index number, that will not come, right students. So our answer will be 40, 30 and 20. Right students, hope all of you understood the question, that is if you are using the backward indexing concept, then here step value also you need to give, and according to your indexing number you can access the elements, right. Let us discuss the question number 3. Question number 3 says, which statement does not show any error after execution? Given list L equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So here L is one list variable having 4 elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Now option A says print L plus L. Okay, that means you want to just, here plus operator is there, but that is not the mathematical addition, that is your concatenation operator. So that means you want to join the elements of this L variable again to the elements of this L variable. So this is correct option. Print L multiply L. Option B, print L multiply L. No, we cannot use the multiplication operator with a list to a list variable only, but here if you are using the multiplication operator, that means one operand will be list type, but second operand will be numeric type, then the option is correct. But here both the operands are list type, so this one is not correct. If your first operand will be list type and second operand will be numeric type, then this one is correct option, because this is now this multiplication operator will behave as one replicating operator. That means you can repeat the elements of your list that number of time. Okay, but here both the operands are list type, so this one is not correct. Option C says print L minus L. We cannot subtract, only two operators we can use, that is plus operator and multiplication operator. So subtraction operator we can't use. Similarly exponentiation operator also we cannot use, which is used in D option, print L exponentiation L. No, we can't use. So here our option A is correct and rest of options are not correct. Let us do the question practically. Suppose our list contains 4 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, right students. Now if I want to just print that L plus L, This is one correct option, students, because this is now known as joining operator, concatenation operator. Here you can just join the element or elements of the list to the elements of the other list. Okay, so your list variable is the same variable. So 1, 2, 3, 4. After that also 1, 2, 3, 4 will come, because here we have to join the elements, right, students? So plus operator needs the operands as list type, right, students? Here both the operands will be list type. And next one is multiplication operator. So L multiply L. This one is not correct, students. Here one operand should be list type or string type. Now we are discussing the list concept, so I am considering the list variable only. So in replication operator, one operand should be your list type and second operand will be your numeric type. But here if you are using both the operands as list type and you are using that multiplication operator, then obviously this one is not correct. So how will you use this one? If you want to use the repeat the elements of the list variable 3 times, then you have to use L multiply 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 times your elements will be repeated, right, students? Similarly, L minus L, that means subtraction, not valid, and exponentiation operator also not valid. So which one is your valid operator here? That is print L plus L, option A. Hope all of you understood the concept that you can use two operators in list, that is one joining operator plus and another one is replication operator. But joining operator you can use both the operands as list, but in replication operator one operand will be your list type and second operand will be your numeric type, and rest of operands cannot work, right, students? So hope all of you understood the concept. Next question is, what will be the output of the following code segment? Mine list equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, new list equal to one blank list. Then for I in range 0 to len of my list, if I mod 2 equal to 0, then new list dot append my list of I, print new list. Okay, so the options are 13579, 1357, one blank list, and 1 to 10. Let us discuss the question practically. So here so many concepts are there, I need to explain. So students, try to understand, this one is very important question. Let us do the question practically. So here students, I want to declare one list variable, that is suppose L variable. Now L variable contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, right, students? So one variable I have declared, that is L. L contains 10 number of elements from 1 to 10. But here students, these are the elements and index numbers are 0 index number 1 is there, 1 index number 2 is there, 2 index number 3 is there, and so on, right, students? How will you declare one blank list? Suppose new list NL equal to, this is your new list. So one list variable I have declared with 10 values, one new list variable I have declared, that is without no values, that means one blank list I have declared. Now you can use the loop, right, for loop. So for I in range function, all of you know that if you are using the range function, then you can access the elements one by one. That is for I in range 0, len of L, len of L, that is in this case len of L equal to 10. So now you want to access the elements from 0 index number to 9 index number, because 10 is the stop value, 0 is the start value, right? So from 0 index number to 9 index number, len of L equal to 10, but you cannot access the elements up to 10. So up to 10 minus 1 you can access the elements, right? So up to 9 index number you can access the elements. This is the loop, so we have to put one colon sign. Now we have to test, we have to check the value of I, because here I stands for that index number only, no element, right? So if I mod 2 equal to 0, in which case we will check this condition, students. If I mod 2, that means if I is divisible by 2 completely, then what you need to do, just use the append function, new list dot append. Append function is used to add the elements to a list variable. So NL dot append, and here L of I, that means the element, here I am now referring L of I. So I indicates the index number, but L of I indicates the element of the list. Okay, So NL dot append, that is L of I. Now just print, just here print NL, that is your 13579. But how is it possible, students? Let us do the question, understand the question. For I in range 0, 0 means index number 0. Now is 0 completely divisible by 2? Yes, it is completely divisible by 2. So now NL is one blank list, that in blank list you can add the L of I. So if I equal to 0, then which one is L of I? That is 1. So now 1 came to your list. After that, now L value will be 0 to 1, because this is a loop. L value, the I value starts from 0 to 9. Okay. So I value will continue. First I value will be 0, then I value will be 1, then I value will be 2, and I value will be 3, and so on. Okay. Now when I value is 1, then is 1 completely divisible by 2? No. So nothing will happen. Then I value will increase to 1 to 2. So is 2 is completely divisible by 2? Yes. So in 2 index number 3 is there. Now 3 is added to our new list. So next element will be 3. Similarly, next I value, that is 3. 3 is not divisible by 2. So nothing will happen. Then I value will be 4. Yes, 4 is divisible by 2. So which one is that element in index number 4? 5. So 5 is added to your new list. Similarly, 6 index number 7 is there. So 7 is added to your new list. 8 index number 9 is there. So 9 is added to your new list. And 9 index number, that is 9 is not divisible by 2. So that element will not come to your list. Is not it, students? So in this way you can run this program, and so that you will get the output. So here that option is your first option, that is 13579. Hope all of you understood, but still again I want to execute this. Suppose our list is our L. Now for I in range function I have used, that is 0 to len of list. Len of list is your 10, but up to 9 we can continue this loop, len of L. You can print the value directly. Suppose print, if I want to use the index number, your index number I, index number I, the element is L of I. Very simple program, students. So this is the very simplest way, so that you can understand the things, right? How can you access the index number as well as the elements from a list variable? What have I done? That for I in range 0 to length of L, print index number. Only this is one string literal, as well means whatever I have written, that particular string will come. Index number I. I is one variable, so it is changed from time to time, 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. The element is L of I, that means index number 0, 1 is there, index number 1, 2 is there, like this. So let us execute the same. See, students, here you can get index number 0, which element is there? 1. Index number 1, which element is there? 2. Similarly, index number 9, which element is there? 10 is there. So here in our program, just we have used the same range function. After that we have checked if I divisible by 2, then we have to append the element in that new list variable, that is NL. So according to the even index number, we have added the element. So our option, that is 13579. So this is our answer. Hope all of you understood this program very clearly. Right, students? Question number 5 says, statement 1, operator plus concatenates one list to the end of another list. Statement 2, operator multiplication is used to multiply the elements inside the list. Which option is correct? As we have discussed, plus operator is used to concatenates one list to the end of another list. That is correct. But multiplication operator is used to replicate the list values, list elements according to the numeric value. If the numeric value is 2, then 2 time repetition will be there. If the numeric value is 3, then 3 time repetition will be there. So according to the numeric value, you can repeat the elements, but you cannot multiply the elements, right? So statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is not correct, right students? So which option is the valid option? Option A says statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect. Yes, this is the valid option. Option B says statement 1 is incorrect, statement 2 is incorrect, that means both the statements are incorrect. No. Option C also not, option D also not. So our option is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect, right? Let us discuss question number 6. Which of the following is a Python tuple? Right students? So now we will discuss about tuple. So tuple is also one sequence data types, and like list you can store any type of values inside a tuple variable. But what is the difference between list and tuple? That list is mutable data type, tuple is immutable data type. That means we cannot change the element or elements in place, right? And second difference is that in list we will use the square bracket to store the elements, but in tuple we will use the round brackets to store the elements. So this is most important part, okay? So which of the following is a Python tuple? Obviously option A is not valid because square bracket we have used. Option B, that is valid because round bracket we have used and we have stored 1, 2, 3 and we have used the comma operator to separate the elements from each other. Option C, curly bracket we have started, not, it is not valid. Then option D is also not valid option. So which one is your valid option? How do you declare a tuple in Python? You have to use the square bracket and you have to store the elements and separated by comma operator. So option B is your correct answer, right students? Now next question, question number 7. Suppose t equal to 1, 2, 4, 3, which of the following is incorrect? Okay. So here option A says print t of 3. This one is valid because in list also we have seen according to the index number we can access the elements from a list as well as a tuple also. Similarly from string also, okay. So according to index number you can access the elements from a tuple variable, from a list variable and from a string variable. But here option A, one valid statement. Option B says t of 3 equal to 45. That means in 3 index number you want to change the value. In 3 index number which value is there? 3 is there, is not it? 0 index number 1 is there, 1 index number 2 is there, 2 index number 4 is there, 3 index number 3 is there, but you want to change the value from 3 to 45, which one is not allowed, right students? So here option B is not correct. Option C, print max of t. We can use the same max function is used to find out the largest element from a tuple variable. Print, option D says print len of t. You can find out the length of the tuple variable by using len method, right students? So which one is the incorrect option? That is your B is the incorrect option. So students, let us do the question practically. That means how will you define a tuple and how will you use all these methods? So let us do the things practically. Students, how will you define one tuple? Suppose tuple variable name is t, then using parenthesis or round bracket you can store the elements. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements I have stored. So this is the example of how do you declare one tuple, right? Then another important thing, suppose t equal to, if you want to declare a blank tuple, then it is valid, right? Round bracket start, round bracket close, and here you can check the type of t variable and it is tuple type, right? Similarly, this is one example of blank tuple. Now you can see in that parenthesis no variable, no value is there. So this is the example of blank tuple. How do you declare one tuple variable with a single element? This one is very important question. Suppose your tuple variable name equal to t1, then you are using one single element only. So 1 is the single element, then put comma. Otherwise that is considered as one integer variable. So when you declare in a tuple variable with a single element, then you have to just use the round bracket start, round bracket close, assign a value, after that put a comma. So that in this case you can check what is the type of tuple, t1. Now it is one tuple type, but if you are declaring a variable and a single element you have stored also, but no comma is there, now this t2 variable is what type of variable? Do you know students? This is one integer type of variable, not a tuple type of variable. Now you see, if you are not putting any comma, then and you are just declaring one single value, then that will be your integer type. So how will you declare a tuple variable with a single element? Then here the syntax is t1 equal to 1 comma then bracket start bracket close, right? So this is the proper way to declare a tuple variable with a single element. This one is very important question, students. Okay, now tuple is what type of variable? Immutable. That means you cannot change the value in place. Let us consider the t variable or declare a t variable with few elements, suppose 10, 20, 30, 40. So t is one tuple variable and len of t. Len of t means you can display the total number of elements in this tuple variable. So here how many elements are there? 4. So total number of elements equal to 4, that is the length of this tuple. So len function you can use. Next one is max function. Max function is used to find out the largest element of this tuple variable. Which one is the largest element? Here it is 40, and you can access the values or elements of a tuple by using index number. So t of 0, that is your 10, t of 1 index number, 20 is there. Like list you can access the elements, okay, by using index number. Which one was the invalid option? If you want to change the, suppose t of 3, which value is there? 40. But if you want to change the value in index number 3 from 40 to 70, then this is not allowed, students, due to immutable property. Okay, so you cannot change the value in place in a tuple and string also, but in list you can change, because list is what type of variable? List is mutable type of variable. So here this option is invalid. That means if you try to change the value of a tuple variable in any index number, then you cannot change it due to immutable property of the tuple. Hope all of you understood the concept. Let us discuss the next question. Now question number 8 says, which of the following creates a tuple? As I already discussed the concept, A option says tuple 1 equal to within round bracket A and comma B. A I have enclosed within double quotes, B also enclosed within double quotes, because you know that within double quotes you can declare a string value. So this is valid. Tuple 1 of 2, that means 2 index number you want to assign AB, but this is not valid, students, because in any index number you cannot assign any values. So B option is not correct. And tuple 1 equal to within round bracket multiply 2, that means tuple 1 equal to 5 multiply 2, that is 10. So here you can create one integer variable, that is tuple 1, and none of the above, that means no option is there. But students, option A is one valid option to create a tuple variable. That means here tuple variable name is tuple 1 and the elements are A comma B. So this is your valid option. In this way you can create one tuple variable, and as we have discussed that tuple variable can contain any type of values, maybe string type of value, maybe integer type of value, maybe float type of value, okay, combination of all these type of values also. So option A is the valid option to create a tuple variable, right, students? Next question. Question number 9 says, choose the correct option. In Python, a tuple can contain only integers as its elements. In Python, a tuple can contain only string as its elements, option B. Option C, in Python, a tuple can contain both integers and string as its elements. Option D says, in Python, a tuple can contain either string or integer, but not both at the time. No. So option C is the valid option, that is, in Python, a tuple can contain both integers and strings as its elements, right, students? So let us do the question practically. So here, students, suppose one tuple variable. How do you declare one tuple variable? That is, within round bracket we need to start the elements, store the elements. So here this is 20, 12, 30, 80, all the integer values I have stored. So this one is valid. Similarly, top 1 equal to, suppose, string values, computer, then another string I want to store, that is Python. So you can store, there is no problem, okay. String values also you can store. Similarly, top 2 equal to 2.4, 7.8 and 8.9, like this. Float values also you can store, there is no problem, right students. But you can mix up the values also. Top 4 equal to, you can store any integer value, you can store any string value, and you can store any float value also, there is no problem at all students. Okay, so in this way you can declare a tuple variable, that means a tuple can store integer, string, float, any type of values, right. So you can check the type of these variables so that your doubt will be clear. Top 4, now it is a tuple type. Similarly top 1, top 2, all are tuple type of variables, right students. So in this way you can declare a tuple. First tuple round bracket you need to use, and any type of values, maybe string, maybe float, maybe integer type of values you can store in your tuple variable, right students. So let us discuss the next question. Question number 10. Question number 10 says, what will be the output of below Python code? Tuple 1 equal to 51762, tuple 1 dot pop 2, print tuple 1. So option A is 5162, B 5176, C 51762, and D attribute error. Here one important thing students, in tuple you cannot change anything. Once you have declared a tuple variable with some elements, that means now you cannot add any element to the tuple variable, or you cannot delete any element from the tuple variable, right students. So let us do the question practically. Actually here the option is attribute error, that means we cannot delete any element from the tuple variable, because tuple is immutable. Once we have declared the tuple variable with elements, then these are elements, that means fixed elements. We cannot add extra element to the tuple. Similarly we cannot delete any element from the tuple, right. So option D is valid option, that is attribute error. If you want to delete or pop the element from your tuple variable, then it will display that attribute error, right. Let us discuss the question practically. T equal to 10, 20, 30, then 40, right students. Now suppose if you want to pop the element, that is T dot pop function, and here in that index number 2, if you want to delete the elements, then this is what attribute error, right students. That means you cannot delete any element from the tuple variable, but in list you can do the same. List is mutable type, but tuple you cannot pop out any element from the tuple variable, right students. Hope all of you understood, but still I want to display the same concept using list variables. So here list equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 4 elements are there. You know that list is what type of variable? List is mutable type of variable, that means you can change in place, right. So here L dot pop 2, okay. Now it returns that in index number 2 30 is there, and you want to delete the element, that is 30, that means the 30 element is already deleted by this statement L dot pop 2, okay. Now you can check what are the elements, remaining elements are there 10, 20, 40. Now no 30 is there, already you have deleted by the same statement L dot pop 2. 2 is the index number, and you have deleted the index number, that is 2 index number, whatever the element, now you have deleted, that means 30 is deleted, right. But same thing we can't do in tuple case. Why? Because tuple is immutable type and you cannot change anything, that means you cannot add and you cannot delete elements from the tuple variable. Hope all of you understood the concepts. So students, hope all of you understood the concepts. All the questions are clearly explained in front of you. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt in my comment section, and watch this video till end and wait for the next video, so that in next video I will discuss some MCQ type of questions with higher concept, advanced concept, right students. Thank you all.